The original Xbox is probably my favorite console of all time. If you know me or have you watched any of my videos, I have tons of the games for the original Xbox. I'm a huge collector of the original Xbox, and it's just one of my consoles, probably my most favorite one of all time, maybe behind the Dreamcast. With that being said, I am a big Halo fan, even though I haven't really been following it since like Halo 3, maybe Halo 4. I just, once it hit the 360, it wasn't really my type of game anymore. But I have been going back to play them through the Master Chief Collection. I've seen the screenshots of Halo Infinite, and I've seen all the memes and all the things behind Halo Infinite, and it kind of got me a little worried because just as I was getting back into the swing of things of playing Halo through the Master Chief Collection, I was really looking forward to Halo Infinite once I get through the rest of the games. And there's some words and some comments that's been put out by a former 343 industry developer that kind of had me scratching my head and kind of making me think like, these AAA games are really going in the tank as far as development, and I really wonder about games as a whole. But that's another story for another day. Let's get into this Halo Infinite situation. If you like this content, please hit the like button if you don't mind, or if you want other people to come around and watch this content as well. Share this video, and if you really like this content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I really, really appreciate it. Got a lot of things in store for this channel as far as it growing, as well as the First and Frame Rates channel. All right, let's get into this. 343 industry dev comments, former dev comments on Halo Infinite's development. He goes in to say that it was a lot of situations going on with the demo. That's why it looked the way it was, because there was a lot of issues that weren't ironed out because many of the engine features were not fully implemented at the time of the demo was made. And he also said that the game was actually being built at the same time of the engine, like both was being built at the same time. So there's a lot of things that was being it was not really implemented properly. It was kind of like build as you go. To me, when I think about it, it's kind of like, to me, like you're trying to build the car and drive it at the same time. It's just, that's really not a good recipe for anything. But there's a former dev also claims to say that with a lot of crunch that's been going on from the low-level employees, forcing them to work overtime, playing mainly in the early hours of the morning, and it said it has paid off, and it looked like that the game is going to end up being in a good state. But the way that it was presented, it just makes it seem like it's not going to be as good as we think it is. Maybe it will, maybe it not. But I'm kind of leaning on the side that it's still going to have a lot of problems, especially when you're building the engine and the game at the same time. And, once the game is released, it's probably going to have some type of patch, or it's going to need more patches in the game, because just like with all these other games, you look at Cyberpunk, you look at Returnal, you look at, even though, Returnal and Outriders is more of a issue with putting the game online, you still have these issues that are just out there, and it's really disheartening. Like I said, with the AAA scene of games, it's just like it's always all these problems that come up with these games. It's so much that has to go into these games. These games are expensive, and it takes a lot to get these games right. So you rarely get a game that comes out right nowadays. But nevertheless, like I said, you have all this stuff going on with Halo Infinite. Well, also that the dev went back to backtrack on a lot of his comments, and that's what makes it kind of weird, because now we really don't know what's going on. And in most cases, most people don't really listen to the backtrack when somebody do backtrack on their statements. Most people listen to the initial story, and it kind of put a damper on the game, the perception of the game. Basically what he said that he said the overtime was completely voluntary, and 343 Industries has been entirely fair about the game. And they said also they were saying he said there was some content that was cut even from the multiplayer and single player part of the game. And he says now that even though that content has been cut, the game should not be seen in a negative light. So it should be okay that some of this information is cut out, and it's really in that situation, I kind of think it's okay because there's a lot of stuff that is left on the cutting room floor, and some things that turns out to be other stuff down the road, whether it be like DLC or whether it be extra stuff in another game. You just never know. But with all this is going on and this story coming out, and this game's supposed to come out in the fall, it kind of has me scratching my head. I know that the dev still complain. He still claims that the game will be good. Everything is going to be okay. But I think we've seen this story too many times where a game is in development and a lot of problems come out when the game is released. And later on, we come to find out that the game had a lot of problems on the way. I think Mass Effect Andromeda was another one that was like that. And I mean, the list just goes on and on with all the bugs that are in these games when they initially release. It just makes it seem like most of the time, if you get certain remasters, most of the remasters do come out the right way. Like you could say for the most part that I remember, Halo Master Chief Collection did come out okay, even though the online was kind of weird and it didn't do everything the right way. But as far as the gameplay and the single player, I guess that's okay. But nowadays, most people don't play many single player stuff. As far as the people in my circle, I don't know. But I just think really, this could all be avoided if he just really didn't say much. But, people already had their perception about the game based on the demo. They also had their thoughts about the game because of what was going on with the game. A lot of silence, and people was just thinking like, hey, this game is supposed to be coming out, but we don't know what it's going to be like because the last thing we saw was that demo. We haven't seen or heard anything else. And when this dev comes out and says something, it does, put a damper on the game, even if, he backtracks. Because like I said, most people don't really care for the backtracking of the game. They're mostly like, oh, okay, I heard this, I heard that. And that's all that's all what it is. So, and the second part of the story is rarely either get as much attention as the first part of the story. It's always been that way. Well, what do you guys think? Do you think this game is going to be a dud? Do you think this game is going to fall short? Is it going to be like Cyberpunk 2077, or is it actually going to be a pretty solid and a pretty stable title? Or do you think that the dev is telling the truth when it comes to him saying in the beginning where there was a lot of crunch, or you think he's actually trying to save face and telling the truth when he's backtracking? Me personally, I think the beginning, what he said was true, and he's just trying to, not say too much to put everything in a negative light, so he's trying to backtrack a little bit. But I think in the original part of he said, I think it's true, and I think at the end of the day, also, I think the game is going to be fairly solid. I think it's going to be all right. Maybe a few patches here and there, but I think the game is going to be okay for the most part. All right, let me know in the comments section what you guys think. I'm going to get up out of here. I'm going to try to play some more games and create more content. If you like this commentary, please let me know. Hit the like button. If you dislike it, dislike it. If you want to see this commentary grow and see the channel grow, hit the share button. Let other people know what I'm doing over here to get more eyes on this content. And if you really, really like and want to support, hit the subscribe button because I got some more things in store. I'm going to expand more, not only on this channel, but my First and Frame Rates channel. All that stuff, the link is down in the description below. So if you guys take it easy, you guys take care. All right, y'all. Peace.